affects CLG's strategies? Because I know their coach, Monte Cristo,
Right.
takes a lot of keys from that. Kale has been huge over there in their first little bit of play, so maybe if it's not banned, CLG might take it on their second rotation of picks.
Well, we know Ackerman to already take that into the top lane too and just wreak havoc. Nobody was really expecting it. We'll have to see what happens. If we remember back to week 1, this was kind of the first time in their second game we saw Xiao kind of pull out not the utility in mid. He had that Yasuo that just got banned out. So he is definitely changing up his play style. Maybe too much with the Pantheon, but that's why we're saying LMQ back to their old ways here, probably.
Yeah. And it's maybe a little off topic, but I feel like CLG took a team trip to the hairdresser. It looks like Dexter and Doublelift both have new haircuts.
There's got a swab comb over on Doublelift, yeah. I like it.
Ready to go. Keep the hair out of his eyes. There was actually a time back in Season 3 where Doublelift couldn't see the screen, so he got glasses. And it improved his play drastically. It was not something you would expect from a world-class AD carry.
Go think. Or go figure.
Yeah.
He didn't like Lucian before, now he plays it all the time. I guess not this game, it gets banned out. Lulu.
Would not be too unsurprising if that ends up being first pick. There's a lot of power on the board still, though. Braum is definitely up. Doublelift isn't the type to actually play Corki, which is interesting because they banned the Twitch and Lucian, which have been his two mains throughout most of this split. You may even go back to something like a Caitlyn, or maybe break out the Vayne.
Ooh.
That would probably be later
nice.
if they end up going with.
They have all the supports they want for it. It's kind of the first
Yeah.
time we've really seen supports just fly right through.
Right now, they get their choice of a lot of things. They could be picking up the Thresh. They could get their pick of the litter for jungle, since Elise and
just two there.
Lee Sin are out. That would probably be a Jarvan or an Evelynn, depending on what they want. They do have a lot of options here.
We haven't seen the Nunu in a while. It was played the last time these two teams met. I don't know if we're going to see that today. The Kassadin has been left open. It's quite rare that we see that, but it's not rare that he'll be picked up after the fact.
Yeah. Interesting how they went with Morg over all else. They're maybe trying to block the Braum a little bit with that Morgana pick. It is good against Braum early in lane and can also stop Braum from catching out single targets because the Black Shield does prevent the passive stun from Braum. It's also great knowing the Kassadin was on the board and that LMQ might pick it, only because we've seen Aphromu's Black Shields being completely on point when they gave up Kassadin against Dignitas a few weeks back.
And junglers kind of going to the wayside here without being picked yet. Really rounding out what the lanes are going to be having.
It's a very unique pick and ban phase, actually. Especially now with the Kassadin being picked, CLG knows they're going against a top lane Lulu, but it's kind of too late because they've already selected Seraph's top laner. Link's choice becomes very, very important here. I don't even know if they need to wait for the last pick in order to do this, since LMQ's solo laners are mostly shown. There's also a chance more plays that Lulu support.
Absolutely. Last time, Aphromu played that Lulu against LMQ. This time it's in the side of LMQ's hands, and Link pulls out the Orianna. Always awesome to see his ball control, and Jinx is just getting a lot of love coming in.
3 for 3 today, and it's a slight return to a little bit of the hyper carries that we've been seeing, especially when Lucian and Twitch are banned out. Obviously, if Lucian and Twitch are available, they would be the ones getting picked right now, so we're seeing more versatility because that's actually where bans are trending this week. I do like it, though. Doublelift played a lot of Jinx in the past, and they're building shields around him right now. It's classic CLG in that sense, the Orianna shield and the Morgana Black shield.
Right, we used to think that having Thresh was a must with the Jinx, with the no escape, but if you can shield it, you can play it right.
Stand and fire.
We're going to see another Jarvan come in here. See if No Name would try his hand at this. Like we said, only Elise and Lee Sin have been banned out here. And Nunu was played the last time these two teams met. So, I mean, No Name pretty much, I don't think he's shown us everything he plays either. Still got to do quite a bit there.
Yeah, Jarvan definitely making a strong case for a comeback. Obviously, it's because the Lee Sin and Elise are banned. But it's these teams really trying to push the limits of each other's champion pools. When everyone is playing Twitch and Lucian, Elise and Lee Sin, since there weren't any other like giant OPs on their minds right now, just forcing those positions instead of just trading powerful champions to each other, forcing people onto different things that they don't have as much practice on is valuable. Dexter had a great game on Vi. Even if he built incredibly squishy, it was still a good game, and he's going once again.
A lot of damage built on him last time. If you just remember, under the turret every time he could to Probably on that Vi. We'll see if he does it again. They have a great team for diving into composition with the shields. Both look like they actually got quite a bit of the picks they wanted here coming in.
I mean, CLG looked for the most part exactly planned. Ackerman had a very good game on Lulu 2 weeks ago when they just destroyed Complexity in that one. The one thing LMQ has to worry about actually is having a low amount of damage on their team. Cast and Lulu aren't exactly the highest damage solo lanes. Jarvan not a high damage jungler. Caitlyn also needs until incredibly late. So if CLG makes a lot of aggressive moves early on in the game and forces some early team fights, that could be their path to victory.
And that's something that we have to keep an eye on right now. We're going to check in over at LOLesports.com to see how you're calling this game. As always, it's this time 60% of the vote going to CLG to take the win.
But as things often change, if you feel the tides are changing in this game, update your vote by tweeting us at LOL Esports, then use the hashtag LMQWin or CLG win.
See if CLG can come out strong in the early part of this game. They said in some of their videos and the bumpers and the pre-reels that they want to go back to being the CLG that takes all the objectives, that can control the game from the get-go and not have to scatter to do that mid-game.
And that's something they've definitely made huge strides towards during this summer split. Team that plays faster than all the other teams in North America and still has the person with the most kills. So they're playing very efficiently, both enforcing the right fights at the right time and ending the game in due fashion.
And see if they can hold off the aggression of LMQ, a team that wants to go into each game with a pedal to the metal, and they won't even stop if the first time it does not work. We're on to the Rift, and the fans are ready to back up their favorite teams here. You see, the Cassidy and mid will remember that pick. Our featured matchup, Doublelift and Vasily. It'd be great to get a standard lane between those two. It'd be very dangerous for a Jinx, though.
Yeah, also critical to note that the winner of this game goes into a tie with Dignitas for first place. So a constant battle for that. There's really this 5-team race for first emerging in this North American LCS. Such a competitive split.
Dang.
CLG also has more fans.
How about 21% more of the vote?
Yeah.
Oh, it's changing. Updated on the fly. Keep it coming in.
Some very interesting level ones we've actually been seeing lately. Because most North American teams in prior weeks had been grouping as 5 and running in for deep wards almost immediately, and then using the knowledge of that quarter of the jungle to try and plan their level 1. And they'd often kind of steal one enemy buff, take one of their own buffs, and trade 2 for 2. Yet lately, I've been seeing more of these defensive formations, especially when I was watching the OGN games, where the teams will place as many wards as possible during the defensive line strategy, and then group around 1 minute and 40 seconds for a late invade. It actually creates substantially more guesswork because you don't actually know where the lane swap is going to be going. It could be a 2v0 or a 2v2, you don't know. And the invading, it allows you to take some risks. I've seen teams go in 3 invade without a smite, steal a blue buff, get a 3 buff for 1 buff start. A lot of risk involved in that. I wonder if these teams are going to do something similar.
High risk, high reward. It'll usually pay off if you can get everything to work the way you want it. But you got to remember, nothing in League of Legends is free. You're usually away from experience, blowing a summoner spell or this just to get something. We'll see if the teams can make it out. And it looks like these will be relatively free on each side.
LMQ did the delayed invade, but they took their jungler with them. So most likely, we're just going to see the standard North American 2v0 lane. trade the buffs. Yeah, they could have tweaked it a little bit. And invaded with 3 since they would have had the advantage anyway. Not brought their smite, had no name solo his own blue buff, and gotten a 3 for 0 buff start. That actually would have worked 100% in this scenario.
Keep an eye as well. Our featured matchup, like we said, is the ADs, but on Dexter and No Name. How much this affects them as a jungler. Right now, again, we see the early back and forth of the jungling and dragon aggression. But does this hurt No Name or Dexter is more? Like having to share farm in the jungle, not being in the lanes as much.
Look at that. Moore is really in sync right now. Oh, rhythm. Look at the rhythm. He's not getting hit by this dragon whatsoever.
No Name took damage. Start over. Let it heal.
Yeah, they get a good instead of a
great. At the end there.
Look at that. Sloppy.
Dragon at 2s and 1s, and he still has enough HP to get back into the jungle and continue soaking up experience.
The exact timer for CLG, though. So they will know when to contest that It doesn't actually have too big of an impact as of yet because no one's able to shop to take advantage of that gold. Dragon doesn't give global experience anymore. So it's very much just what LMQ does because they have their AD carry support bottom lane. That move will become more valuable next patch, actually, when the early game Dragon Gold increases. But not today.
That's true. You see a lot of teams are able to kind of fluff that off right now. Once it matters more, there'll be way more movement. Maybe not as many 2vs nuns either. Up top, it looks like CLG is going to start claiming the other side of what they're making their jungle right now. And you can see playing very safely as they come away from that back into their own side. 5.4 to 4.9, so just that early Dragon Gold is really what's giving everybody something to win a lane with. No CS, though.
Yeah, there's a few things we need to be able to track when we see these 2v0s happening. It's obviously mid laners, because it used to be when you'd have lane swaps, mid laners would get these isolated matchups.
Right.
You're actually much more likely to get ganked now because of the increased roaming capabilities, and mid laners have to play much more passive. So Xiao is playing incredibly aggressive pre-6 on Caston right now and getting away with it. The other thing I want to track is the gold of the junglers at this point, because especially listening to Cloud9 talk last week, when Meteos was taking all of the jungle farm while they were two-manning the jungle, because the first jungler to their big jungle item, whether it be Spirit of the Ancient Golem or the Elder Lizard, is really big as far as power spikes go. Ackerman's still level 1.
Oh, Dexter could Q over the wall. He's going to have to flash it as he sees the hook just come out of the brush. Moore took an early step there. Very good aggression. They've blown the flash onto Dexter, which will leave a little bit of pressure in some lanes, but this allows LMQ to really wreak havoc on the jungle now.
Yeah, so that should delay Dexter's gold a little bit. He's pretty much dead even with No Name in gold right now, but he was sent back to base.
Farming, keeping it up. Oh, there you go. All right, so 36-39 in that mid lane. All the consumables for Xiao. You knew he was going to be having some gank pressure, but like you said, they're almost not getting the gank pressure anymore. It's really for everybody to soak up the experience, and I don't think we've actually seen, Dexter or No Name or just other teams give that CS experience to Meteos as other teams do.
It also feels like LMQ is using a little bit more in the jungle as a support, instead of just sitting in lane with Vasily or helping out elsewhere. So that is just redistributing their jungle gold a little bit. No Name's getting a little bit less, and they're trying to let Ackerman get a little bit more.
Seems to work out. Kobe and Freak were talking about a little bit earlier that since all this roaming happens, the supports, now Aphromoo is at 4. Very low as the game gets to level 6s and whatnot. Changing everything about the fights. Right now, CLG actually going hard on the top turret.
Yeah.
This is usually what we used to see with Jinx. They're going to be doing that just before that mark, 7.
The damage reduction is completely off the turrets, but Jinx is to break a lot of rules. She just attacks turrets so damn fast in that minigun form, so they can take that turret down early if they want. And Seraph has done enough in that lane, and it has not been pushing against him, that this could very well be the gold equalizer when COD takes down this turret.
Let it destroy as much experience as CLG kind of starts to set things in stone. As we said, they had that Dragon ward before, so they know the next time Dragon's coming up, this will allow Doublelift pressure relieved in the top lane that he has to make. We'll start to get a roam from those guys and maybe see the matchup in the bottom lane. Actually, see Vasily and Moore start going top now. So
around 9 minutes will be when that Dragon comes up. And it is interesting that LMQ has decided to do the lane swap now, sending Caitlyn up, because that may end up making them forfeit the Dragon. It depends how quickly they shove that in. Basically, CLG, is instead of sending Seraph up there or keeping Doublelift up there, is probably just going to concede that turret and maybe try their own push down the bottom. CLG always wanted to keep a turret edge, so maybe they're trying to get a head start on this bottom turret by sending down Afro and Doublelift.
Glitter lances that one more. This is going to be a perfect line for Doublelift to just start soaking up. He's more than happy to get back and farm this. Dexter is also making presence in the bottom lane, seeing if they can't get rid of some summoners or ults. He's just going to hang back for now and go ahead and farm out white. So No Name knows Dragon's coming up. Everybody seems to be setting up for this. 1 minute left onto that as Seraph returns to the top lane for himself. Got to remember, last time Seraph was on Jax, and he had 2 kills that game, but they still weren't able to pull it about. His play has definitely seemed to be a little more solid as we see Vasily just kind of clocking him out of lane there, trying to soak up 7-4. He's playing a dangerous game.
Yeah, poor top laners in this game. With such an extended 2v0, they have not been able to get farm up until this point, and Caitlyn is one of the best at harassing while you're under the turret without taking turret harass.
Yeah. Misplay by Moore. The kind of a tell here on the aggression. You see No Name waltzing in as well. Very slow gank. No boots on No Name. Just trying to get in for this first bit of pressure and relieve what CLG has now rotated to the bottom lane.
Yeah, and honestly, the exacting timers don't seem too great on Dragon.
Oh, Dexter from the backside. Doesn't have his ulti. Level 5's only double lift level 6, but you can see they completely out-level any three they were just looking at.
Yeah, it's Xiao and Vasily who would want to be involved in any type of meaningful fight at this point. Double lift being 6 could be a great closer if they got something, but they actually sent Dexter back for wards, and with Vasily making it down bottom, and Seraph still not being level 6. He needs to be very close to level 6 here. Judging by the minimap, he actually did just hit level 6. Yep. This Dragon could be a massive engagement. Teams are really actually geared up for taking this right now. CLG doesn't have the vision control, so they might not actually be able to contest just due to safety.
Oh, LMQ.
Get it.
Walking forward to the bottom lane and really not grabbing any definitive aggression, but just map control in this. Very good play by them. Even with, we saw Vasily in the top lane just a few seconds ago. They timed that perfectly, have him bound down bottom.
Yeah.
12.6 to 3.8. A little aggro. Vasily looking dangerous here. Great grab onto double lift to thwart the DPS continuing onto Vasily.
Good harass by COG, but still no kill. I'm very surprised that COG didn't prepare better for that Dragon.
Yeah.
They are normally a team that thinks so far into the future as far as game plans are concerned. And they put down the level 2 ward, or sorry, the 2-minute ward at the Dragon to get the exact timer on it. Yet they did not prepare vision beforehand. They had Dexter go back to base, and he was actually at race when he needed to be prepping for that vision control. Just not good planning there by COG and letting LMQ have that early Dragon.
They definitely had everything in position. Double lift came down well before. Dexter not really in the right spot. See if he can do it this time.
So badly. They know Moore is really weak. They just want to kill him.
Continue to snowball this lane for double lift, assault battery into fall breaker, and it goes over to Afro move. That's still not the best, but they get that kill.
Yeah, very smart target selection there. Quite honestly, knowing Moore was level 4 and that Dexter, with his level 6 gank, burning everything would be a guaranteed kill, but more importantly, getting their objective back. They'd given up the Dragon, so therefore Dexter needed to make up for it with a nice gank bottom.
Now where does CLG apply the pressure? And where are they going to lay it on this time? Double lift will get back here. We see him picking up a few things under his belt. And finally finishing the Bloodthirster, actually. So he is quite an item up on Vasily as he farms up this frozen lane in the bot side. Xiao 100 to 105. Link, no one to mess with in that CS in the mid lane. Those two will stay quite close all game.
Yeah, Link, quite the farmer. He actually has been putting up very low score lines recently, and Groot flash.
Oh, he blows the flash and then Cataclysm. Link actually places the ball perfectly to distort No Name away from himself. That's very hard to do.
And Xiao went rather far in that one. It was a 1 for 0, and he really wanted to make sure he got one kill back. But he ends up giving 2 to Dexter, and a Vi who was ahead is almost 3 times better than the Vi who was behind. It is just so important for her to have that lead. The 2 kills on a Dexter is scary.
And there's the pressure right from Chronologic Gaming to the mid lane now as LMQ tried to make a move. CLG bites back immediately.
Yeah, and as you said, Riv, check out the shockwave from Link, because obviously he flashes the EQ. And like you would expect from Jarvan, he ults immediately after the flash. The damage didn't necessarily land, but then this is the biggest thing. He ults him as the Vault Breaker hit
punched.
Dexter.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was just a huge burst of damage while the turret was hitting. And then Xiao decides to go out instead of in to try and guarantee the kill on Caston because they were already committed. That's the way LMQ plays. It just gives a lot of power back to CLG.
Just super save from Dexter. That would have put No Name right in range for that last auto attack, actually. Still playing a little bit of vision game here. The ward battle to win the all-out war. And it looks like it's going to be 1 for 1 in this ward battle.
Yeah, CLG, especially with double lift farming up for the late game, are probably feeling very comfortable right now. They know how little damage LMQ's generally doing with their team comp. Caston needs a lot of levels actually now before she starts really blowing people up. Ackerman's going to need a lot of ability power before he can become effective, and Vasily as well needs to hit about 4 big 80 carry items before he can take down Seraph in the front line, or even Dexter. As Dexter's doing the damage build on Vi.
You can see CLG is ready to continue making moves as well, getting ready to place pink wards, even double lift, grabbing those up. We've seen more 80 carries start to participate and winning the map as well as winning their lane recently.
Yeah, and even looking at the map, you can see how LMQ, they're not shy on pink wards, but they're not aggressive with them.
That's true.
All of their pink wards are placed defensively across the line right there, and CLG is just walking and getting rid of LMQ's control.
400 easy gold just for looking past your nose. CLG is going to kind of hover in that area too. They feel like this is an area where they can easily protect without pushing themselves out of a comfort zone. 1:30 on to Dragon. It looks like they're going to get here early this time, kind of set up shop.
Yeah, so this is the Dragon where CLG fights. Or they just catch LMQ beforehand, because Dragon fights actually start well before the actual Dragon spawn.
Nice little trade there. Good call by Dexter. He was still waiting for that Q to come back up. Didn't want anything crazy. We do see No Name, though, to make mention of the Jarvan build. We saw the Golem last game. He throws himself onto that Lizard first for the early damage.
Yeah, still putting more points into his E than his W, though. Obviously, every Jarvan maxes Q first, but I've seen a lot of them max W second. No Name going with a more aggressive tone in this game, as LMQ likes to do.
Yeah.
Probably relying on the Lulu shields, hopefully in a fight.
Like we said, still waiting for Xiaowei Xiao, that man on your screen, to pick himself up in levels. Still has a chance to be chasing down double lift, creating plays for the team. You can already see more in the rest of the team. Now they're starting to feel a bit more comfortable about their pressure, and they're starting ward.
Well, level 11 is rather important for the Kassadin. Big cooldown reductions onto his Riftwalk every time he gets a new rank in that ultimate. And LMQ is maintaining pretty strong control. Getting those early wards down towards the Dragon area are quite important. COG is a little hesitant to actually go in there for vision right now.
We'll see if they can use Dexter. He's been having a bit of a shaky game back and forth for Chronologic Gaming, but these Vi games have really seemed to put him on an upward momentum shift in his gameplay. Waiting out, perfectly hits the Q, max damage. Not like it's the most difficult thing to do, but it looked good. 16-minute Dragon going down over for Counterlogic Gaming. And they do start to cycle back some priorities in the game.
Yeah, COG is in control right now. Seraph has kept his farm up in the split lane, completed the Sunfire Cape. They got the Dragon timer down right and showed up, and now they could get a team fight.
Very close. Flash will do. Thank you very much, says CLG, as they now have pressure on the mid lane turret with double lift here. We haven't seen the Jinx play very much, but you got to remember these turrets fall very fast, even though you don't have a champion on that Triforce. CLG makes the way safely. Remember, they just got that Dragon, and they've split the gold by 2,000 now. Almost 3,000, actually.
And I mean, we did hear them talking in the pregame about how a lot of teams are giving LMQ a lot of respect because they're a new team. But once they start seeing them lose, they can play some more aggressive moves. And COG is daring them into a lot of stuff here.
Very back and forth. Afromu trying to do what he can before he goes down. It's a 1-for-1 so far. The Retribution kill. Just about 30 seconds on the clock, so not much can be had after these fights. Great damage. Double Lift getting excited here. Could get another one. The zap hits Ackerman. He's left with a pie in the face, and it could be the catch-up link on the dissonance. The rest of the team gets it on the backside. Double Lift just out of range.
Lances.
The Wolves kind of hooking him up now. Another dissonance. Now they speed up off the slow. Link so close. The ball movement. Vasily on the backside gets Double Lift to go down. That's a shutdown for him on 2 kills. And somehow Ackerman gets out alive.
That was a fight that was so right for CLG and then ended up actually going wrong. So as it started, obviously Afromu does get cut out without a black shield, which creates everything. With him in there, it created a fantastic wombo of damage for COD, which is why LMQ got so low in the first place. But then the target prioritization, and honestly, Ackerman's Glitter Lances as well as Vasily's positioning carry this back. If COD stops here, it's a great fight.
Man.
As they die, Ackerman gets 1 Glitter Lance down, and then somehow in the back, we saw the Ackerman trade. Watch Vasily finish off Double Lift because the Glitter Lance tagged him, and then Double Lift was too low and Vasily chased him down. So the split fight and the overchase by COG ends up equalizing that fight and making it not a loss for LMQ.
Amazing coordination and ability to reassess a fight and really come out with almost, when you're given nothing, coming out with something. 6-4 at 18 minutes. It's still 3,000 gold in the favor of CLG, but we can see how back and forth these fights can go despite that gold lead.
I mean, that's the danger of CLG. Even with the doublet resets, not being able to close down on some targets was a little frightening.
Xiao getting real big now. Yeah. Everything that they have with wild growth. Shields. Xiao's shield that comes off as well, deterring a bit of DPS in the early part of a fight. He's 2-2-0 now at 161, falling behind actually 20 CS. Not very normal for him, but still that Rod of Ages is getting charged up, so it's not like he's really losing out on anything.
Looks like he's going Zhonya's next as well. So Xiao is going to want to be pulling off a lot of very aggressive moves here. Still the Trinity Force build on Dexter. You know, it's a lot of upfront damage, but it is very weak tank-wise. He's going to be able to have to duel Vasily, and if he reaches a point in the game where Vasily starts beating up on Dexter, all the damage he's sunk into his Vi build could be very dangerous.
This is really what CLG has started to become with this Vi in the jungle, is a shock and awe team. If he can't get in and out quick enough for somebody to die, then they're not far enough ahead to use it. We'll see if it happens right here. In and out, quick enough to get someone to die. Whoa! The Lantern on the other side. Vasily. Oh, Aframu's going down here. Oh, very good save by Dexter as he squeezes himself in. Link was there to be a bro as well. And it looks like CLG is still thinking about putting pressure on the turret with one lowly caster minion.
Yeah, CLG threw the kitchen sink at LMQ right there and still didn't come away with a kill. So Vasily somehow makes it out, thanks to some sneaky moves by Moore.
Whether he's on the Blanc, Nidalee, or on Cassidy, Xiao always has one person out. One more time on this.
Yeah, I mean, they tried to combo him down before he clicked the Lantern, but... Oh, man. Moore actually threw the Lantern a little bit ahead of where Vasily was, but the Shockwave moved him back to make the click easier, and he just got womboed back and forth into safety.
I don't think he's going to leave. Nope, tricked ya. Xiao still
worrisome.
Staying. Oh, at least they pulled this over, but now you have to consider how many resources are being used. Not many, just Dexter. CLG's setting up to guard everything, so just getting him out of the way.
And CLG's pick is on cooldown after they tried that on Vasily, which means Xiao can do whatever he wants. Sure, Dexter came for him, but he knew he didn't have an ultimate, no closing potential. He just happily rift walks away.
Makes it easy for himself, a Houdini of escaping. Easy to do on Casted. 4-2 in turrets is CLG. As they've been saying, they want to focus on getting more of the map control in their favor, getting those objectives down. It seems like they're going around the horn pretty good on that so far. LMQ clearing out their jungle. We see No Name backing here and a bit of the gold. Oh, that's going back and forth.
I mean, the early game did seem to go in LMQ's style because they were having the proper dragon control. But honestly, Dexter got pretty strong off that mid lane gank, and he's been doing a lot of control since then. As well, the teamfight presence of the Shyvana right now from Seraph is rather impressive. Knowing Dexter's level 11 coming into this next dragon fight is very critical. If CLG can get another nice combo of Shockwave plus Shyvana, I do not think LMQ is going to be as lucky as they were last time in escaping.
Let's see if CLG can get control first. LMQ play style to go headstrong into these fights and not really worry about too much. Good dissonance damage to start it off.
Huge poke.
Give
the
LMQ
more of those Link
can
land, the easier this dragon becomes, especially because LMQ is going to have to funnel towards CLG. That catch, though!
Oh, no, double lift getting caught. The Cataclysm almost zeroes him out, but they don't have enough focus now. He's almost being hidden by Dragon and the rest of his team. Now he's healing up off a Dragon. Almost actually heals the full Xiao damage. Dexter takes a ride over the wall, goes for the long haul, taking down Xiao. A great shot coming over. Ackerman hits the glitter lance. Aframu, this looks like a sore situation. He goes down. Dragon's getting pissed right now, and he almost gets a kill. Oh, Link, he's able to come up big with his shield and an auto attack from Clockwork Windup. Ackerman now coming off on the other side, almost getting a glitter lance down that could zero out both Dexter and Link, but they spread it out, and they're going to be back in.
And Riv, we thought the Dig TSM game was going to be the bloodbath. This is the bloodbath
Give me that again.
Today. Right at the start when Doublelift gets hooked in, because of the black shield, they couldn't get the CC on him. And then it's all about LMQ trying to dive, but they do not have that much damage. So Doublelift can hold them off for a while. Eventually the damage arrives. Xiao gets tracked by Vi. That's one of the big reasons Dexter picked Vi. He's used that ult on him multiple times. But then again, we've seen the story before. The cleanup crew, Vasily and Ackerman, they're the ones that are unaffected by the rest of the fight, and they are cleaning up. Then at the very end, Vasily tries to make a monster play, as he often does in solo queue to get him in trouble.
That's seeing a little bit of the Vasily we know right there. bringing that out of the woodwork. 10-7, the bloodbath ensues, and we're back to the Dragon already. Everybody's up, everybody's in position.
Shockwave up, Morgold and Viald are down though. So CLG a little bit weak, at least for the next 20 or so seconds.
Perfect on hitting Seraph with that. Still get a little back. Dexter gets grabbed this time. That's the big initiation they had for the last fight. A perfect wild growth on the team of CLG. And it looks like CLG's backing off slowly, trying to reassess the fight. All the shots are coming from LMQ though. Doublelift now knows he can answer back. There's two members in front. Vasily is still going in a 3v1 situation, but Doublelift comes out on top with a double kill.
Doublelift is getting real fed right now. That was a great fight for CLG, but these teams are not backing down from either one of us.
Whoa, whoa. Alframu going deep.
Yep.
Oh, he hits it with the caster minion. Oh my gosh, that just happened.
Despite the chaos as well, that is 100% kill participation for Alframu 24 minutes into this game. He has been involved in everything, but we have to see this fight again. So Shockwave had just came up. It was so critical that Link landed one right here. And where's the Shockwave ball? It comes in a little bit late, but where was it? Did he already throw it? I've already lost in this fight. Anyway, Doublelift cleaned up very well with his AoE rockets as the low damage of LMQ funneled in to him later, and that time Ackerman and Vasily could not play cleanup crew because they did not have enough upfront damage onto them.
What an end to a coast-to-coast fight. Everybody trying to regroup now, take a breath, figure out what's going on. LMQ is definitely knowing that they're on the ropes here, even after trying to come out very strong in a fight like that. 15-9 as the kills continue to surmount, and 44,000, almost 45 to 38,000. So the gold lead is only growing for CLG. This is something we haven't seen LMQ fall into. Usually they'll bring it back.
Yep.
CLG's grown this gold lead the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, the first time these teams fought, it was actually fairly similar, with CLG daring LMQ to come fight them. The first game, CLG was doing that at the Baron Pit around 18 minutes. That is a far more dangerous game to be playing. At the Dragon is not doing enough damage to give LMQ an edge in the fight, and CLG is punishing them adequately for that.
Xiao Sanya used up there, we heard on the screen. Won't have that for next fight, most likely. We'll have to see Ackerman trying to create pressure in the top lane, but CLG walks into a trap.
Doublelift is poised in this game to have a huge amount of success, especially looking at Aframu's build. Lock it down on Solari and the Mikhail's Crucible already. So not only do they have a Black Shield to prevent CC, if any CC does land on a Doublelift, it gets Mikhail straight away. And then we know Link's priority after he lands a good Shockwave is probably going to be in shielding Doublelift as well, since clearly LMQ is committed to diving upon him.
Right.
I feel like since the last few fights it went their way so handily, CLG might have this one in the bag.
You can see Doublelift is building the Guardian Angel. He knows that it's going to get dangerous and they're going to want to dive him quite soon. And just very good positioning overall. CLG not moving unless it's a power play, unless they can all do it together. Very nice Shockwave. That's just so much HP they cannot deal with having off of their bars. It's going to be more, and he actually hits the Dark Binding. The alley-oop to lock up more. He's forced to flash, but he takes the Death Rocket to the back of the head. Dexter coming in with the rest of the team.
And now LMQ is still pushed off of this turret. CLG doesn't have the Baron buff for the regen, but boy, they are looking for fights.
Aframu bringing Dark Bindings with hands that reach out and grab you in this game. He's hitting everything. And it looks like they're going to be able to get the inhibitor turret with the pressure of having those Dark Bindings available. Very, very close to taking it down, but they will be back soon, if not to pressure down a Baron fight and beat out LMQ.
Yeah, the gold lead grows. They're backing with their pink ward for as much safety as they can. And it's going from bad to worse for LMQ right here. You could see just fearless initiation there by CLG, freely throwing out cooldowns because they're very sure of themselves and that LMQ can't call them on their aggression right now. So yeah, CLG just went back to base, bought up, got a lot of pink wards, made sure they got their sweepers, and yeah, Baron's the next move.
Dexter really bringing back the vibe for the zero-out initiation. Always guaranteeing you kind of get one person. When you're that far ahead, you guarantee the rest of that push down the mid lane. And LMQ has been kind of searching for answers here, almost in a stranglehold on Counter Logic Gaming's aggression from the get-go. 28 minutes on the game. And you can see CLG bringing out the sweepers now. 3 on the side. And they're going to get Baron ready to go.
Yep, pink ward control. Seraph with this teleport up, being the body in the bottom lane that they need. And Dexter would be very free to go in for an initiation as long as they have double if available. On the LMQ side, they're hoping that the death cap being built on Ackerman. Whoops.
No,
He did get hit by the binding as the Rift Walk was casting, so he was a little afraid of something.
So he has that down once more. CLG not putting on too much pressure. He can wait for that to come up once more. Ackerman doing what he can across the map, so they have to watch out for that window of teleport to come in as well. CLG's eyes are not just in front of them right now. Doublelift playing a little do-si-do back and forth. The dodge, out, the death sentence, and they are so close to getting the turret. Remember that bottom inhibitor turret's healing back up right now, so they're going to have to work on that again.
This is a next wave endeavor. I wonder how long Ackerman is going to push up the other lane right now.
He's getting the pings.
Not the fastest pusher. COG wants to force the TP. Look at that jump!
On to Vasily. Oh, the shockwave as well. The ball delivery doesn't just have to be on a cow, and they're going to continue to go. Seraph a little too close, flashes out of that one. Dexter wants back into Cataclysm, but he thinks twice on that one. No Name in the front. One last shot from Doublelift on the rocket range, and he's able to get it. It's now onto the inhibitor turret jet. It's forced Ackerman back to the fight, and it looks like it's not going to help out too much either.
Yeah, Ackerman keeps coming around the side. He did land enough cross-team Glitterlands that COG has to fall away, so a somewhat successful defense, all things considered, because COG had a very clean-looking initiation. It was just pretty well dodged out by LMQ.
Ackerman almost losing his life to come back and play defense, but it works out. 196 to 177 for those top laners, so you can actually see him a little behind as you see the engagement in this fight.
I mean, first off, a great ball breaker just to get in range, and then the catch on Vasily seemed like enough, but once again, Vasily's a slippery dude, and it is very hard to actually kill him. Seraph got flayed away by Moore as well, otherwise Vasily would have been dead in that regard. The fact that No Name was the one to die, and that was only because about a split-second auto attack that COG put down on him, was a great escape for LMQ.
Slowly but surely, CLG wants a bit more gold to put in their pocket. I don't even know if they're really going to be able to go back to base and spend this. Doublelift quickly going for the Banshee's Veil.
Yeah.
Instead of the Guardian Angel, he just wants to continuously be able to stop Xiao. The peel seems good for him. He can stay alive.
It's always an interesting game with Doublelift. I think earlier in his career he would have went full offense, but now he knows he's doing enough damage and is just making it a safer world for him.
Safe world for Doublelift, what he would love. Right now the focus is on him. Oh, LMQ's playing a bit different right now. Doesn't look like they want the straight on fight. They want to see if they can get it positioned from the side. Well, right now they're kind of just moving CLG around. CLG's dictating this movement right now, but LMQ really has no way to get into it.
Yeah, CLG actually wanted to cut him off while they were moving towards this bottom turret, but they have a big wave. And that's a deep initiation by No Name.
Uh-oh, No Name all by himself. That's a wild growth. Nobody can get to the backline of CLG. No Name's just getting deleted for an Afro move. A three-person vault breaker. Wow, coming in huge, shocking off from Counter Logic Gaming, as it's been told from the get-go. Xiao's going to be forced onto the fountain. Doublelift, another double kill in the game. 10, 2, and 8.
Yeah, looks like that'll do it. That was a big move by LMQ, but CLG, they womboed right there. They waited it out. They killed the Jarvan front line knowing no damage was reaching past them, and they just went for it in LMQ. These Nexus turrets falling fast.
CLG coming out very strong once again. It looks like Xiao doing what he can. Doublelift has his eyes on the prize right now. In the jacked up Jinx, the speedy attack machine gun is going to have enough shots. Saracen for the double bite before he goes down. And Counter Logic Gaming in 32 minutes takes down LMQ.
Yeah, hey, this is how CLG has been playing all year. It's only getting better at this point. They play fast, faster than other teams. This one was 32 minutes. Also, Doublelift leads the league in kills. 10 kills in that 32-minute game. Backed up by his support after, and this time, probably a better performance by the supporting cast as well. 4-1-16 on Link, some exquisite shockwaves.
Yep.
Dexter breaking out the buy, and Seraph with the 13 assists as well. Always following up those fights.
Keep an eye on those Doublelift kills. That guy right there, I believe it's 25 more, and he'll be the first to hit 500.
Yeah, 500
a lot of
in
kills.
his LCS career. Very
With plays
experienced
like that on Jinx, sure, it won't be too soon before he gets it. This guy, Dexter, coming out big. Things were shaky for him. Kind of started the season. Coming into Battle Atlantic and the battle of the, or start of the spring, he was the guy in the other jungler's face. Seems like he's getting back into that motion with a just power build Vi,
Yeah.
always.
Big haircut comes out big. LMQ, their struggles
Yeah.
are beginning.